Hello there and welcome back to the cruise. Today we're back for another homework video. We love to see that on the channel. All I do is homework, that's all I know. But today we will be making a Hana Kanzashi brooch, and I'll be doing it in pink fabric today to make kind of like a sakura theme. So I'll be going through pretty much a step-by-step tutorial on how to do this. So here are some of the things you will need. So you'll need at least like about 20 centimeters or so in a full width length of a dark fabric and a light fabric of your choosing. Oh, that's not weird. Some tweezers, or if you're willing to, you don't need them, but you'll get glue all over your hands, so make sure you have some tweezers. Some film together, some fabric glue. I'm using E6000 and I love this thing. Use E6000. You'll also need a brooch back, which is what's here. You're also going to need a felt. You're also going to need some felt. I don't use much, but you'll need just probably just a little tiny bit. Maybe just get an A4 square for yourself. You'll need some floral stamens. These can be found from a florist in a floristry section of a craft store. And you'll need a little diamante. You can choose whatever sort of diamante you like. I just have a little tiny one. And then you'll also need some cord. I'm using Russian braid in cream because that's what matches. Choose something that matches your fabric so it kind of blends in. And then you'll also need some little bells to go on the end. I recommend a person with this colour combination, a gold, which is what I've used, but you can also use a silver depending on which colours you have. And then other equipment you use is, in this tutorial I'll be using my rotary cutter. This one's the Fiskars one. And remember, always be safe with a rotary cutter. These bad boys are more dangerous than scissors. Be careful, it's a very dangerous pizza roller thing. And then to use your rotary cutter, you'll also be needing a nice board, just to make sure you don't damage anything. Then I'll also just be using in this tutorial some scissors, a ruler to measure my patterns, which I already pre-made my patterns, and then the patterns that I speak of. So for my tutorial you'll be needing here's one, a 3.5 centimeter square and a 4 centimeter square. And now let's get on to the tutorial, shall we? Alright, so to start off with, we're going to start by cutting our bases of the little flower petal thing. So that's going to be these little dark pink and pink ones here. This is an example of the earring, but of course today we are going to be building the brooch. So I have two fabrics here that match the earrings, so everything matches. And then I have two little pattern pieces that I have made. So I have one that's a little 5 centimeter square, which is going to be the bigger size, and the other one is a 4.5 centimeter square. So they're just folded so each side is nice and even. So we're going to get started with the dark fabric first. Now the dark fabric is going to be going on the outside of the flower petal. So we're going to get that unfolded now. And I've got a big piece of fabric. It's going to be a little bit everywhere. So we're going to line it up, and so for each flower you're going to need 6 of each colour. So I'm going to take my rotary cutter and I'm just going to go up just like that, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side as well, and then I'm going to do this 5 more times until I get, oh no. Also kids, be careful with a rotary cutter, these things are very sharp. And up like that, and we've got that. And what you can do, you can just take your rotary cutter and then just go all along the top of these. Now you have to do a little bit of extra trimming, just cutting here and there, and a bit at the start. Sometimes you might need to like back it up. So that's all of those ones done. So I'm going to fold my fabric back up. Always just double check that they are squares. That is good. I'm just going to pop them over on my laptop, and then we're going to go in with a lighter colour. Right, so now we're taking the 4.5 centimetre square and we're going to be lining it up. And you're once again going to be cutting 6 of these out. So you are forming the petal, because each petal takes 2, so we're making a total of 12 squares in total in 2 different colours. Right, now that that is done, we can just take our rotary cutter and just go all along the top. We will need the light pink later, though, because we do have to make the Bira Bira parts of the Hana Kanzashi. And the Bira Bira, so that's the dangling little bits. So that's going to be just those bits there. Alright, so now that can go back in the box, and now we won't be needing our rotary cutter for the next while. So, now the tools you're going to need for this next bit is we are going to take our Getaway Fabric, our E6000 Fabri-Fuse. I'm not sure how well other fabric glues work, but this one, this is the good stuff. We love E6000 in this household. And then, just to try to get less glue on your fingers, just some nice little tweezers, prefer. But so what you are going to do is I'm going to show you an example on one of each pieces. Is you're going to hold it like that, so you've got the corners ready to like touch each other. You're going to get the glue, and you're going to put a little bit. Yeah, no, glue is a little bit dried. Out like that. And then all you're going to do is just squash it down with the little tweezers there. And then just going to brush it out, just to make sure you've got glue all the way over the end there. And this may take a bit to dry, so you might want to do with them, then leave it for 5 minutes, and then you can see and come back if they're dry or not. And then I'll just show you on the other one. Again, just a little bit of glue on the end there. Oh, that's probably a bit too much, but it's better to have more than enough. And just spread the glue out, like so. And try to use the tweezers as much as possible, but you may need to adjust with your fingers just so you don't get glue all over your hands. So do that for the remaining 10, and then we will move on to the next step. Alright, so now that we've got all of these glued down, we get to the part where we stick them together. So I'm going to show you one example, and I'm going to do the rest off camera because they're a bit of a pain to do. So you're going to take one of the big ones and take any one of the little ones. I'm just going to grab this one here. I'm just going to flatten it out so we have a nice flat surface to work with. And get the E6000, and then we're going to draw a line along here, line along here, and then just a little bit of extra on the end there. Then we're going to place right on, and then just take the tweezers and just squeeze it down. And you're going to leave that to dry for a bit for the rest of them, and then I'll get back with the next step. Alright, so now all of these are glued together. So next, that was kind of glued. It's all okay. So we're going to take this one. I'm going to get our glue out. Now, actually, no, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do before I glue it down. I'm going to put a bit of glue there, and we're going to fold these two in, and then we're going to fold it out like that. Alright? So, I'm going to get the glue, the E6000, and put a little bit, it wants to get out, right on the end there. And we're going to put the lid back on properly. Fold that in. Fold that in. And then now make any adjustments you need to. And then you are literally going to hold that until it dries. Because you need to keep it in this position so you can get all the fun little shapes you like. And you may also want to just get the glue out. And then, where is my phone? Oh, it's back there. I just had to go off. And just put a little bit of glue just on the top there. Now this part will take a while. You will have to sit there. You will get glue on your fingers. Right, so I'll be back when all 6 of these are done. Alright, so now that you've done that, you should have 6 beautiful petals that look like this. And then the next part we have to do is actually flatten out the bottoms, because you've got little bits sticking out. We don't want that. So all you're going to do is you're just going to take your scissors and you're just going to flatten the bottoms out of all of them, because we need to get them nice and flat. Right, so now we've got our 6 petals. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our felt. I'm using white. And I don't really... You just have to cut out an approximate square. I haven't measured these before. But you can see I've made 2 little squares here from when I did the earrings. So I'm going to go... Right, so we're going to take 1 petal. I think I'm going to start with this little one down here. I'm going to make sure we are nice and ready. Yep. Alright. What we're going to do, we're going to grab our glue, hold it like this. You're going to put, if the glue wants to come out, just down the bottom here and along here. Right, and you're just going to pop that one down on the felt like so. And that'll take maybe a minute or so to dry. You don't have to wait for it to dry the full way, just as long as it's about a majority done, that's what we want. Right, so now we've got that one stuck down. I'm just going to quickly show you how to get another one on. So rather than go down on the sides, you're gonna still put both down the bottom like that, but I'm just going to pick a side and you're just going to do a little bit of glue on the side. This is going to help attach all the petals together so that they're all nice and stuck together, because otherwise they are not going to stay. So I'm going to get the base down and then I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm just going to kind of go in through here. I'm going to widen those and I'm just going to hold it down. Alright, so you're going to stick all the rest down like that and then you will move on to your next step. Alright, so now we've got this all together. We have our final bit to finish up the main flower before we get onto the Bira Bira. So we're going to grab our flower stamens. You're going to need 3 of them as long as they're double-sided. If they're double-sided you need 3. Now I'm using gold for these ones. And so we're going to get the glue ready. And so we're going to get our scissors and we're going to cut probably about there. We don't need much of these. And then you're going to kind of do roughly the same length on the other side. Right, and you will need to keep these little bits because these are going to be important for later when we do the Bira Bira. As you can see, we also have our diamantes ready because we're about to get onto that as well. So what we're first going to do is we're going to get the glue and we're just kind of going to go a little bit in the middle. That should be noted, the E6000 does kind of turn blue when you're not directly putting the fabric, but you just kind of go create a nice sort of like little blob going on there, so you can just put the stem ends right in. That's what we're going to do. So you're going to take your first stem in, and it's not going to stand up properly apparently. You're going to just, okay, we're putting it in this one now. Kind of just line it up like that. And we might put a little bit more glue in there. Try to make sure they're all kind of like in the center, like of each petal, so they're all little stem and little bud sort of thing lines up with like that bit there. And then we're going to get our little diamante here. And I go snip. Alright, so we don't have to wait for that to dry fully. We do have to be a little bit careful. This will also help hold these down. Now, using the tweezers, we're going to hold on to the diamante. I'll let go of it. Place it down and adjust where needed. Alright, so now that that is all down, that's our main flower done. I'm going to wait till it's fully dry, and then we're going to cut around that, and then we will get onto the Bira Bira. But we're nearly done, we're on the home stretch now. Alright, so now we are going to be getting into the final petals, and for this you're going to be taking your 4.5 one, or whichever one is your smaller pattern piece out of the two, so with the same one you use for the lighter coloured petals. So the inner ones, and you're going to be cutting out 10 of those for this one. Oh my god, there is glue all over my board. So I'm just going to first even out this one. And then we're going to do a similar thing to what we did last time. You know, pretty much the same, except you're not attaching them to any other ones. So I'm going to do a nice little blob of glue on the end there. You're going to press it down. You can use the tweezers, but I have put them somewhere. And then I'm just going to do another blob of glue. I recommend waiting drying. I'm just speed running this for the sake of it, but wait till it's actually dry. So you're going to do that. Hold it in like we did before with the 2, but now we're only doing it with 1. And then you do that for the other ones. And then I will show you what to do next. It's a little bit different to what we were doing before. Alright, so now that we've got all of these done, we're doing something a little bit different from what we did. So, but we are still going to make sure we're all nice and flat here. So we're just going to go. Alright. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of these and we're going to open it up here. We're going to get the glue out. We're going to go just all along there. Let's grab our tweezers, shall we? Alright, so now that these are stuck down, I'm going to make sure we've got 2 nice pieces. Yep. I'm going to get our glue and taking one of them, I'm just going to draw a line on the side of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go like that, so it can be 2 like that. So then you'll do the exact same for all the rest of them, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so now while we're waiting for these ones to dry, we can quickly get started with the braid. So we're going to need our glue, scissors, and of course our braid. I'm using Russian braid, it's a really nice one. But anything similar as long as it has a nice sort of flat area to put our petals on. So first we're going to cut around this so we can get our flower shape. And as you can see, I also have the earring down here. This is so we can reference the length of the little strings. We will need them a bit longer than we have on the earrings, because the earrings have their little flower petals, I think 3.5 centimeters or 3 centimeters. So they're about 1 centimeter smaller than ours right now. Right, there's that. Then I'm just going to get a little bit of trimming, and then we're good to go like that. Alright, let's move all of these out of the way. So they're all dry now. But we're gonna, so you also need about 1 centimeter or so extra, because we're also going to fold over at the end when we do the bell. So we're going to measure, and then I think about there's good. Right, then I'm going to measure it up against the 2. And then I'm going to make this one just a bit shorter, so maybe about here or so. So what we're going to do first, I'm going to take our glue, I'm going to choose which side we want for the bottom. I think I'm going to go this side. And we're going to get the glue all the way down. There we go, there's our glue. I'm going to put that down and slide it up a little bit. Alright, so there's that one. Then we want to do exactly the same for the other one. I'm going to glue down and down. Then I'm just going to press this one down as well. Right, now that they're down, we're just going to put a little bit of glue over the top of these, just to seal off the top so they don't try to fray or anything. And just so they're nice and secure, which is what I've done on the other ones. Alright, so now we're just going to wait for that to dry, because we can't do the next step, because otherwise that is going to get stuck to our board. So you are going to need to wait till this is nice and dry, at least 90% of the way, because we're going to be flipping over to the other side and we do not want this stuck to the board. Alright, so now that we've got this nice and dry, we can get on to placing all these ones. So on the short one we'll be doing 2 petals, and then on the long one we'll be doing 3. So all we're going to do is we're going to do, when I get the glue on there, we're going to get a nice little strip of glue along there, and then we're just going to place it just a bit under where the flower is. Stay. There we go. And then we're going to do the same for the other one, like so. Just place it just a bit below the other one. Right, so we're just going to gently push that one out of the way. And we're going to get our next petal. We're going to do the exact same thing. Just go right along the top there. Right, then we're just going to make it a little bit higher than the one on the shorter one, because we need to fit 3 on this one. I'm going to do our next one right on like that. I'm going to make that one a little bit higher than the last, than this one, just so we can add a little bit of levels to our design. And of course we don't have one to reference off this last one, but just make about an approximate guess, and you still need about 1 centimeter or so of the Russian braid down the bottom. So don't make it super close to the bottom, because otherwise it is going to be hard to do the bells. Right, so that's all those 5 done. So now we're going to wait for that to dry, and you want this to be nice and dry before you move on to the next step, because you do not want to have to re-glue these. So wait till those are dry. That might take 10 or so minutes depending on how much glue you've got down, but it needs to be dry. Alright, so now that we've got these nice and dry and the back's all secure, we are ready to move on to the bells. Now this might be a little bit tricky, so you're going to get your leftover little bits from the stamens I told you to keep. If you didn't keep them, that's not my issue. So you're going to take your little bell, you're just going to thread it right through the top there, and you're going to wait till it's nice and even. Gonna get our glue ready. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see how long that goes for. So that's pretty much up the length of that. So we're gonna get glue out all along that edge. Then we put the bell on, and you just put the little stand in little bits in there. If it wants to go down. There we go. And you're going to fold a big bit there over. You're just going to push through. You're going to want to make sure you pull it just a little bit forward. Oh, maybe not that forward. There, get back. So you can have it like that, which then you get the glue back out and just put a little tiny bit glue there, and you're just going to hold that down. So you'll do the same for both sides, and you might need a little bit more glue just to keep this down. Then once that's dry, you're going to snip those little bits there. And you'll do the exact same thing for the other side, and then we're nearly done. Alright, so now that we've got our belts down, like that, we just have one last thing to do and then we are done. So, just before we go into that step, I've also just glued down the sides, so I've run glue along the sides just to keep it all nice and stable. I may need to put a little bit of glue on that, but for now we'll move on to the next step. So now we're going to take a tiny little piece of felt, just cut a small piece, but make sure it is smaller than your backing, because I attach backings like this just to make sure they're nice and secure. I'm just going to open up my backing and just don't think. So this side's going to be easier for me to get into, so I'm going to have it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my little felt piece. I'm going to grab my little felt piece. I'm just going to put some of the fabric glue on it, just a nice liberal amount. Going to open that back up, place that down, just going to squish it down so we need this to be nice and secure. And then all you're going to do is we're going to wait for this to dry now, and then you will be done with your brooch. Alright, and now once that little back piece is dry, your brooch is finished. Woo. So it matches with my earrings that I've made previously. So it can be a set, maybe you could wear the earrings, someone else wears this. But if you want to make the earrings, exact same process, just make your pattern smaller. But otherwise, here is the earring. Got the nice little diamante and the bells, which are probably my favourite bit. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video and you enjoy my cursed variety content of whatever I feel like, please feel free to subscribe and join the cruise. And feel free to check out my other videos. Bye!